So these are the modules which are required for the SCM, the supply chain management. What actually is supply chain management? Just we will take a brief. So in supply chain management, when uh, as a supply chain management, whenever whenever there is an inventory which is coming inside the warehouse, so this is your warehouse, okay, and this inventory, this we call it as inbound. So we need to firstly track where this inventory is coming inside the system. So what are the mandatory things which we need to take care of that, take care inside it, site and warehouse, other dimensions, the model groups, item groups, all these we are going to cover. Okay, so we will start with the first setup of the organization. I will take 10 minutes to set up the organization. This is also required by you, but the major portion of this will be completed mm, by the functional consultants or under the finance domain. Okay, but as you are going to work in the SCM domain as well, you we are working with. You need to understand the process as well. Okay, so let's get started from here. Now this is the modules. Under the modules, you will go to the organization administration. Okay, so have you got the access for this particular environment?
I did install all the software, all the details, but it's not yet
Mhm.
active. Archana said it will be done today.
Okay, okay, no problem in it. When you are going to start in your organization, let's say for example, whenever you are going to join the organization, there will be a link provided to you. Under the link, there will be a email ID. So once you log in with that email ID, you will be able to go ahead with your access. Okay, so coming to here, there are the module. These are the all the modules which you are going to see. But let's say, for example, as a SCM guy, you should not be able to see the system administration or the service manager. So first, for that reason, you will go to the user section. Under the user section, there will be a user. Okay, under this user, you will have your roles. So if you click on the assign roles, there are few roles which are required for a SCM guy. Okay, so the SCM guy, based on these roles, you will be able to work on. Okay, so if I say for the SCM consultant, the major roles will be credit and collection management, credit and collection clerk. So these are the two roles required for the SCM guy. Other than this, we have several other features as well, like your warehouse management. So let me go for that. Yeah, warehouse planner, warehouse worker, warehouse manager. So these are the few way, roles you have to give. Okay, for the transportation, we have transportation coordinator. Okay, so whatever the modules we are going to cover, for that accordingly, you will assign those roles over here. But as I'm system admin, okay, and this is a demo environment, so you will be able to, means I'm not changing it. Okay, so I will keep it at system administration only. Okay, so that means you need to create your new user over here. Okay, you go to the new user, you check the user ID. Let's say it is Karthik. Okay, the name will be Karthik, and under this we will give the email ID. Okay, just a minute. There is no voice from the background, right?
No, no, no. It's good. Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you. So for this, let's say the email ID is karthik at accenture.com. Okay, so this will be your email ID. You will be provided with your company. So let's say this is your USMF company. I will come on it. Don't worry on it. What is USMF? And there will be a person assigned to you. Okay, so let's say for example, against the Karthik, if there is any name with within the system of the Karthik, then that will be assigned over here, but it is not there, so I will add some dummy person over here. Without this person, there are few features which you are not able to utilize. Then you need to go to the assigned roles, and under the assigned roles, assign your let's say for example you are working for the accounts payable manager and accounts payable payments. Okay, so these are the two things which I am going to give, and then save it. Then ask the user that if he is able to access with this particular link. Okay, so give him this link and give him this email ID, whoever has the access for it, and then he will be able to log in. Okay, so this is your system administration role. Under the system administration, you have several users form. You have a security form. Security is this one, the assigned roles and everything. If you go, you can see assign users to role. There is a security configuration. Then there is a segregation of duties that we will come later. Don't worry on it. Means this is not your part actually. Okay, being a functional consultant for the for this particular D365 FNO, you will be you are going to work with this with creating the users, signing the roles, creating the new securities as well if required. Okay, there is a workflow. So under the system, we will check how the workflow needs to be enabled. Okay, there are two types of workflows inside the system. One is a standard workflow where the workflow will directly go to the user, and then he will be able to approve it. Okay, the multiple users, and one is a direct one-to-one basis on the conditions. Okay, so there are two workflows inside the system. Then there is the inquiries form where you will be responsible for the batch jobs. Okay, so let's say for example, batch job is there needs to be a data going out of the system. Okay, or coming inside the system that is based on some batches. Batches means you can run a report. Let's say for example, the very standard specific report will be your D365 trial balance, or let's say for example detailed trial balance that you can set up on a batch. Okay, so batch means a time will be given to this particular report when it needs to be run. Okay, then there is a data cache. Data cache is utilized for your we can say for faster purpose. Okay, so all these things are there, we will come on it later. Okay, but the major role which I have used till yet over here is the user section. Okay, and creating the new security. So for that you will be able to utilize this particular feature. Now coming to our main part, which is your organization administration module, which is your over here. This is the organization administration module. Under the organization administration module, you will have your number sequence organization. The main part is legal entity. Whenever you're working for a client, you will be you will be working with the client will have some name, right? The name will be a stakeholder's name. A name will be your bank account name. Something like that will be there, right? But the main thing is, let's say for example, we don't know Ratan Tata. Everyone don't know Ratan Tata, but everyone knows TCS. Everyone knows Infosys. Within Infosys, there are multiple work going on. Like in TCS, there is a hospitality domain, there is a medical domain as well. Then there is uh, IT business as well. So these are the businesses, and based on these businesses, system will TCS will be changing its name as well. Okay, so whenever a company, a main holding company will be there, and there is multiple sub companies, sub ledgers, then in that case we call it as a legal entity. Okay, so legal entity can be TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. Then there is a TCL, Tata Chemicals Limited. So these are the whatever the name of the company in D365, we call it as legal entity. To create a legal entity, we go to the organization administration module, organization and legal entity. Under the legal entity form, click on the new button and give the name of the company. Okay, so let's say for example, we are implementing this project for delivery. Okay, delivery LLC right now. Okay, and there will be one company called T. country will be IND. And let's go for the OK button. Okay. Let's say, for example, you are working with the UK client, so we need the UK. Okay, so I will change the address because based on the address, uh, your features are going to change. Okay, so how? Let's see. First, you tell me, then I will update. Okay, so it is in India. So for India, PAN card is mandatory. There will be some tax registration number that you need to provide. And further, going further, there is a PAN card which is enabled, which needs to be enabled over here. It has not come yet. Okay, so it will come once you generate the number sequence for your system. So, for example, your legal entity is created. Do you have any problem till yet? What actually is legal entity? Can you proceed further?
No, yeah, yeah, I'm understood. Yeah,
Okay, okay. So you will see a field over here, localized functionality region. So let's say, for example, detect using company address, which is a safer option. But in case you want to change the localized functionality region, then you can change. But what happens after? On basis on this, if you go to the tax registration IDs coming on this form, you need to go to the tax registration ID where you need to perform the tax registration. Okay, so there is a tax information tab enabled, and if you click on it, there is a withholding tax, there is a GSTIN coming up. Okay, if you close it, I will close it also, and I will change the address now because you are working with you are going to work in a UK based client. So for the UK, I will change the country code as GBR, which is the shortcut for United Kingdom UK. Now I will click on yes. So there is a zip code. Also, let's provide. Okay, then the street code you can provide this one. Not this. Sorry. Bristol Street 12. Okay, and click on OK button. Now see what happens. Registration IDs, and now the tax information tab has gone. For the UK, we need only the registration IDs. Okay, so I hope you are getting the point. For one within one application, there can be multiple features. Okay, which is enabled for one country and not for another country. Okay, so I hope now you are getting the point. Why I have shown
yeah,
means changing the particular code itself, it will update. Okay, so let's go to your registration ID. This is completed now. When I'm going to charge the taxation and I'm going to update the taxation part, I need this particular fields to be applicable. Okay, I need to fill this particular field. Okay, I need to fill the bank information. So my legal entity is created. I hope now you're getting the point. We are
yeah,
going to start with our setup of this organization. I will take 5 more minutes to set up this. So to set up this, however, this will be done by your finance manager. But in case you want, means you should know how the legal entity and everything is working, because going further, you need to define your main accounts as well. Okay, so click on the general ledger. Under this, the ledger setup. So based on this ledger setup, you need to work on the you need to fill out this entries. Okay, so click on edit button, click on the chart of accounts. Under the chart of accounts, you're going to fill up the chart of accounts. I'm going to, because we are working with we means as a SCM consultant you are working on, you need not to worry about how the chart of accounts is getting created, what are the main accounts. Okay, but for a generic understanding, you should know that what actually is a chart of accounts. So in your MBA also, you might have learned about this thing in the first semester. Okay, if your MBA is a 4 semester, so you might have gone through this as a common one. So whenever an entry is created, we basically, whenever a financial transaction needs to be created, there will be some accounts in which this will be stored. Okay, so there will be one account A, one account B, and whenever, let's say for example, from A to B you are transferring 1000 GBR. So this 1000 GBR is going to be subtracted from A account and will be added in the B account. So this subtraction, whenever a minus sign is there in D365, we call it a credit, and in the plus, we call it as debit. Okay. So this is a standard process which you need to understand. Now, we will move faster over here. There is the chart of accounts. Under the chart of accounts, if I go, you can see there are further, within the chart of accounts, there are further this basic main accounts. Okay, so I hope you got the point. Means within the chart of accounts you will be able to, enter the main accounts. Why these main accounts are important? Because going further, when you are assigning these uh, when you are going with the transaction purpose, so you need to assign this main account to your postings. Okay, so this is your shared chart of accounts. Okay, so shared chart of accounts will be a common chart of accounts which system has already provided. But in case, let's say for example, this is the Titan chart of accounts, you are seeing only these many accounts. Okay, so this is created by me for one of the batch, the Titan batch, and then I'm using the shared because as a SCM consultant, you need not to worry about these things. Okay, you just need to understand what actually is a chart of accounts. Okay, because people will ask you in terms of interview as well. Now coming to the point of setting up this TL01. So TL01, we will go to the general ledger module. Inside this general ledger module, the first thing is we need to set up the ledger codes. So chart of accounts I'm taking as a shared for a safer side. Okay. Then there is a fiscal calendar. Fiscal calendar will define your financial year. Okay, and this financial year we will be going with the, let's say for example, I am choosing 2024 as my calendar. Okay, and after this selection, this is the accounting currency. So accounting currency is the currency in which your system is going to, accounting currency is the currency in which your accounting will happen.
Okay.
Okay, then there is a reporting currency. Inside the reporting currency, let's say for example, you can choose another currency also, but if you're working with and your holding company, the main company is in UK only, then you will take the GBP itself. There is the accounting currency because system can handle multiple companies and you are going to transfer, you are going to work on the sales cycle or the purchase cycle. So your purchases can happen from different country as well, majorly from India or majorly from China, majorly from US. So in that case, you need to have a different currency exchange rate. So these are stored in over here. So I will take the default as well. Okay, now I will save it. Once I save it, I will go ahead and show you the exchange rates, how it is managed. So under the default exchange rate, you have an exchange rate tab. Under this, you will find out all the exchange rates. Okay, if there is no, means some exchange rates which are not there, then you can select it and going further, you can add that uh, exchange rate also. I hope till here everything is clear. Any doubt you are getting?
No, till now it's clear. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So now I have added my exchange rate as well and I can do any transaction. There is a budget exchange rate as well. I will tell you when, means for you budget will not be a mandatory thing, but yes, you should know what actually is a budget in the inside the system. So for that I'm utilizing the exchange rate, means whenever I'm creating a budget and I'm assigning it to expense or revenue accounts, I need to I will be able to add it via means the exchange rate will be managed from this particular form. Okay. Now coming to the part of the account structure, what actually is the account structure? But before coming to the account structure part, because I will tell you what is the use of it. So see, there are four main accounts. What actually is a main account? What is your idea about main accounts? What do you have some idea? What actually is a main account?
Main account? No, no idea.
No, no problem.
No.
Do you know chart of accounts?
Yeah,
What it is?
chartered accounts. I mean the total profit and loss that is created in a company.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean
Okay.
whatever business you are doing, what amount of profits and what amount of loss have you attained?
See, this account structure will be asked by you in your interview. Okay. So,
Okay.
what actually is your account structure and why it is needed? So, for the before the interview, it is important for you to understand whenever you are going for a client interview or client help. Okay, in that case, you need to define them what actually is account structure. Okay, so account structure contains two things. One is your chart of accounts. Okay, inside the system, this is a chart of accounts. Okay, and this chart of accounts contain multiple main accounts. Account structure also contains chart of accounts plus financial dimensions. So there are three concepts you have to understand under this particular thing. So this is main account, chart of account, financial dimension. Okay, so firstly take one by one. Now, whenever accounting happens, it happens against a account. Account is nothing but a number given to you in terms of finance world. For example, you have your bank account number, you transferred some amount to the KBS, right? So you have transferred it from one bank, and this bank will have a unique number, unique code. Okay, let's say for example, my bank account is in Kotak Mahindra Bank, but for Kotak Mahindra Bank there are around 50 lakh subscribers. Okay, 50 lakh users of Kotak Mahindra Bank. For me, I am one of the user of Kotak Bank, and they have given me a number double two double one 76. Okay, so this is the bank account number they have given to me. Okay, similarly, if there is another person or my brother or my father or my mother, okay, they will also have a same bank account in the Kotak Mahindra Bank, but they will have a different account number, so that bank can segregate the transactions. Whenever they will go, they will ask for their passbook print. Okay, so if my father go and ask for the passbook print, he will firstly be checked with the account number, and against the account number the transactions will be printed in his book. Okay, so those transactions will be, let's say for example, 1,000 came in, which is a debit credit for my father. Then 500 goes out for his normal expenses. So this is debit. Now the total balance is 500. So this will be shown in the statement. Similarly, we assign multiple for because there will be financial transactions involved in it. What we will do, we will assign for each transaction, we will assign a account number. Those account numbers are nothing but in D365 main account. Okay, I hope it is
Okay.
clear to you now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. So, for example, let's say we are doing a purchase. Inside the purchase, there are few transactions involved. Purchase happens against a vendor. Purchase happens for an item or a service. ठीक है? Or a service. Against a vendor, you need to pay the amount. So it will accounts payable account is required. Okay, let's say for example, you purchase the item, you purchase the raw material for your finished goods of 1,000 GBP, 1,000 pounds, okay, euros, let's say. Okay, and this euros, whenever you will buy from this vendor, there will be 1,000 euros you have to pay. So this will go to the accounts payable account. Then there will be item where there will be an inventory of 1,000 is going to be updated. So plus 1,000 amount of inventory will be updated. Then what happens after the item is after the item? then there is some, if there is service, similarly 1000 will be updated. But in case again you are going to do the vendor transaction, this time you are purchasing a 5000 euros of the raw material. In that case, against the vendor accounts payable, one more entry will be created, will be of 5000. Okay, so against this account number, this accounts payable will have a unique code inside the system. So main account, if we say what is main account is your unique code given to your accounts, okay, for the transaction holding purpose. Now, what are the types of main accounts? Because there will be, what is the need for different types of main accounts? This is your accounts payable module. Now if I go to accounts receivable module, we will have your customer to whom you have sold the item. Okay, so let's say the selling happened for 1000. Okay, and this will be treated as a AR, accounts receivable. From here, the account receivable, your inventory is going to be debited. Means 1000 inventory will be subtracted. Okay, so inventory will be credited to the customer account. Okay, then this transaction will be completed. So again, if there is any cycle coming up, so these all the types of main accounts we need to prepare. Now to segregate these two things, we have the main accounts are of 5 different types. You have already learned in your MBA. So main accounts are of 5 different types. Maybe you have not listened or not heard about the main account, but now what I am going to tell that you have already listened. So there are two types of accounts. One is a balance sheet account, one is the income statement. Any doubt in it? Okay. So there are, in the balance sheet account, there is an asset, there is a liability, there is a equity. Under income statement, there are expense and revenue. So these are the 5 types of main accounts. Okay, if anybody asks you, you need to tell him. Now coming to the part, if this is also not okay for you, asset, be with me for some time. You will be able to understand what I am saying. Now there is a financial dimension. What is a financial dimension? Whenever you are doing a transaction, let's say for example, you purchase the raw material of 1000 from a vendor. So delivery DL01 purchased a item of from vendor V1 of 1000 euros. Okay, again you have done the same thing of 500 euros. 500 euros. Again you did some transaction 1500 euros. So overall, how much purchases you have done? 1000, 1500, and 1500, around 3000.
Oh,
3000 euros you have transfer, you raw material you have purchased. But now with this information, I'm not able to understand. Okay, that's fine. I need to pay 1000 to my vendor, but where it is utilized, for which project you have utilized it, or for which cost center, which department is responsible for it. Okay, so for those purpose, we utilize the concept of financial dimensions. Once this financial dimensions is defined, it will be available to all over the entity. Okay, all over the transaction. So this the concept is common in very Epicor, SAP. Okay, in SAP, if you have gone through, there is a concept called profit center, cost center, department. So everything is same in the FICO module you have learned about it. Okay, now coming to the point is defining the account structure. So before defining the account structure, you need to tell to your client that okay, under the chart of account there is a tab called dimensions. Over there is a dimension called financial dimensions. So this is your financial dimensions. Okay, I'm going to utilize the mm, cost center. I will go to the dimension values. Inside the dimension values, I have 007. So all these are the dimension values defined for me. Then there is a department which I'm going to define for my this user. Okay, so these are the department: sales and marketing, operations, finance. So that means whenever I will do a transaction of such type, the 1,000 euros, such type of transactions I will do. What will happen? There will be a business unit assigned to it. There will be a cost center defined to it. So let's say, for example, this 1,000 was purchased for the business unit marketing, and the cost center, the cost will be handled by the marketing team itself. But this 500 was taken by the different business unit. Let's say, for example, sales, and this cost center will be managed by the finance team. So now, whenever you are going at the back end, you will be able to view these things inside your system. Okay.
Okay.
I hope this is clear to you, financial dimensions. If not,
Yeah.
just be with me, no problem in it. Okay, because this is a new concept, you might be, so you might need your mind to grab these things. Okay, so and if there is anything you are not able to understand, let me know. It's okay, no problem in it. Okay,
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so this there is a ledger section where we have to define our account structure. There is an option called configure account structure from here, or either you can go to the general ledger module and go to the structure and configure account structure. Okay, both the options are same.
Okay.
So if I click on the configure account structure, what account structure, collapse all, chart of accounts, structure, configure account structure. Without defining the account structure, you will not be able to use your main accounts. Okay, so let's see, for example, let's say I'm going to utilize the account structure of which we can utilize. And utilize manufacturing, or these are manufacturing, Mexico, retail, service industries. So let's say, for example, I'm using the service industry business balance sheet and service industry profit and loss P&L account. Okay, because I have already utilized the shared chart of account, so I can use any of them. Okay, let's go ahead and use this. Close it. General ledger setup, ledger. Please practice it. Okay, create a legal entity. Try to set up
Yeah.
the form. Okay, so then you
Yeah.
will be able to understand. Add it. Then after adding it, I will go ahead for assigning this thing. So this chart of accounts will be utilized for the balance sheet purpose. This account structure will be utilized for the balance sheet purpose. That means if I go inside it, you can create your own as well, no problem in it. But because I have utilized the shared chart of account, so that's why I'm using it. Okay. So let's see,
Okay.
what it is saying. Whenever the main account is of type 1000, means the number will start from 1000, 10,000, or it is 1 lakh. It starts with 1 lakh and it ends with 3,999. The business unit department will be utilized and service line main account will be utilized. Okay. But as I told you, I'm going to use the business unit and department. What I will do, I will update something over here. Okay, what I will do, I will remove it first, and what I will do, I will remove it from here as well. And what I will do, I will mark the business unit as star and other two are like this. Okay. Now, what is this star and what is this department and service line? So, whenever a transaction is going to happen inside DL011, DL001, they have to select the business unit. Business unit is a mandatory. To make anything mandatory, a field mandatory, we can use the star option. Okay, so star.
Okay.
And if I click over here, you see the blank values are not allowed.
Okay.
But if you come in the department section, the blank values are allowed. Okay, so now we will activate it. So it is getting activated. So any change for due to any changes, I have to utilize this. It will go for the active status. Okay. Now one more, as I told you, I'm going to utilize the service PNL. Service PNL. Okay. So this is for the profit and loss accounts. So the two accounts I have told you, balance sheet and profit and loss. So this is my P&L. So with 4 lakh and double line, you will be able to take it. Okay. Again, I will edit it. Okay. And I will see, I will let it be. Okay. And I will tell you how this 003 and 004 and 002 and 00028 is indicated. Okay. Not much is required over here, but yes, for the generic understanding, you need to understand sometimes if you are working within India, so they will ask you these questions as well. Okay, and maybe if you are working with Big Four, they will align some project where you need to work on these things as well. Okay, so close it. Once you close it, you have your service industry business balance sheet and profit and loss accounts enabled under the account structure. Okay, so right now you see the main accounts are not enabled. Okay, if you see over here, now if I edit it, this is not enabled over here. Now
Okay.
let me refresh it and see the changes. Let me refresh it once. And now if I edit it, you will be able to add the main accounts. Okay, so without defining the account structure, you are not going to utilize the main accounts. Now the use of main account. The use of main account, let's say there will be a realized gain, currency revaluation. Do you have idea about the currency revaluation?
No, I'm
Okay,
really
okay,
sorry.
no
I have no
problem.
idea.
No,
Yes.
no, no, no problem. No, 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 it's okay, fine, no problem. Yeah. See, let's say for example, you are in UK.
Yeah.
I am sitting in India. India treats everything in INR. You are in Great Britain pounds, GBP. Sitting over there, there will be a bank account. Let's say HSBC bank account. From HSBC, some amount is going to come in the Kotak Mahindra Bank. Kotak Mahindra accepts in INR only. Means it accepts in USD as well, but when as per the RBI guidelines, this bank account needs to convert your USD or GBP and then store the value in the rupees. But for UK, it is GBP. Now, how the transaction will happen? As a consultant, Karthik wants to purchase some services from the KBS, and he want to transfer it under with GBP after converting it into INR. So for that reason, to transfer from one country to another country, we need a currency exchange rate. Currency exchange rate. We need it. And this currency exchange rate will be GBP to
Again.
INR. Okay, so this is stored under the currency exchange rate. This is the use of currency exchange rate. Right now, today I believe it is 88.2 something. It is the currency exchange rate for today, GBP to INR. Now, what is currency revaluation? There are two documents whenever you do a transaction. Okay, whenever you do a transaction, there will be two documents created. Let's say, for example, Karthik went to a shop. Okay, he wanted daily expenses or daily necessity things. Let's say milk and bread. He's going to buy from the shop one. When he's going to buy, he will take the item and he will transfer the money. Let's say, for example, in INR, you are transferring 100. Okay, against the 100, you are getting this milk and bread that is coming to you to your home. Here, there is only one transaction happened where you have given this money either from UPI or you have directly transferred it. Okay, then there is a milk and bread, the inventory will be given by the shop. But at the shop there are two things. One is he will be, let's say for example, in India Amul is famous. Okay, and for from the Amul he want to purchase 100 liters of milk with a bread of, let's say, 100 pieces as well. Okay, so this is simple. The shopkeeper wants to purchase it from Amul, so Amul will say okay fine, we will send a quotation. Okay, so purchase cycle starts with the quotation. That means shopkeeper is going to ask for a quotation from the Amul. Amul has sent a quotation with its with its terms and conditions. Okay, so these are the terms and conditions. Against it he has given the quotation. Then after the quotation, in the generic term, okay, the shopkeeper likes the quotation, he gives a confirmation to send the item to his shop. Once the item is shipped, he will be they for this purpose there will be a document created which is a purchase receipt document, product receipt. Then the product receipt, against the product receipt he will check the item, that okay, the milk and bread, whatever the quantity he asked for 100 liter, he asked for 100 pieces of bread, that is there or not. So against it this will be this will be kept in the warehouse section. After the warehouse section, the shopkeeper will say okay, I am giving you an invoice. Okay, because there are separate different departments, he is not handling, he is just a worker over here. So he said okay, I will create a purchase invoice which is applicable in Indian government law. Okay, means I will pay you by this particular date, this particular amount. Okay, and after this purchase invoice, he will give this purchase invoice to the finance team, and finance team will do the payment. So in a generic, in a B2B scenario, business to business scenario, this process is followed. Okay, so two documents are getting created. Now coming to my point of currency revaluation. What actually is the currency revaluation? If let's say for example today is, you purchased something, you created an invoice with KBS on 10th of September. We need to check the GBP to INR rate. Okay, on 10th, 10th of September. See, on 10th of September it was 109.79, 109.797, 109.797.
Seven.
So on 10th, if you have transferred 1 lakh GBP to Indian currency, it will be somewhere around let's say 1 into 1000. Okay, now same transaction you are doing today, 20th of September, 111.052, 111.052. So 1000 GBP is coming on this date. So for this purpose, if you have transferred on the same day, on the 10th of September, you have only transferred, let's say, means I'm telling 1,09,797, but today you have to transfer 1,11,052. That means there is a difference. Okay, you have made a loss over here. So this is a currency loss, currency transaction loss to your organization. So these losses needs to be captured somewhere. So for those capturing purpose, this is the realized gain, realized loss. Okay, so I will type currency, currency, this is currency, 1 minute, loss. No, I think only this is the one. Okay, fine, no problem. currency adjustment, realized loss, currency adjustment. As per your need, you can, this is realized loss. I think this is went wrong.
Just gain, right?
Hmm. Uh, Realized profit. Yes, this is the 500. Okay, then unrealized. There are two things. Means what is unrealized and realized gain? Realized gain means it is posted inside the system. Means you have finally posted the entry. After that, your currency, the revaluation comes to this section, this particular main account. This will be transferred. Okay, so from one main account to another main account, there is a revaluation batch that we need to cover up. But before going into too much of depth, I will suggest you please hold on, okay, and understand the currency revaluation concept only. And going further, you will automatically understand it. Okay, currency adjustment profits, currency in not 500. This is unrealized, right? Yes, correct. Okay, so these are the four main accounts, and I will save it. Once I save it, you will be now able to understand these things. Okay, fine. Everything is perfectly working now. Okay, so this is the ledger chart. Okay, going further, this is a fresh organization. Okay, if you want to do any transaction, if you are learning from somewhere, the means from Google or from Microsoft MB330, I will suggest to utilize the USMF entity. So these are the entity list, legal entities inside the system. Okay, so these are the entity list. Okay, so I will suggest go to USMF where all the entries are there, where all the setups are already done. Okay, so they are using the manufacturing business unit, balance sheet, profit and loss, and statistic. Okay, they have also utilized the same currency exchange rate, currency profit. Okay, shared chart of account they are using, the fiscal calendar they are using. Okay, USD to USD you are using, but you are using GBP to GBP. And if you see, there are some vendors and all those things are there. Okay, so I will suggest you, okay, I will suggest you to go ahead and do some transaction in the USMF entity. Okay, create a purchase order, create a sales order, and when I will work on it, I am going to start from scratch. Okay, so it will help you out.